guys, for 2021, I thought I'd try something new. I've been doing a lot of photography, love my camera equipment, and I noticed with my new camera, it had the ability to do 1080p. The video looked pretty good. So I said, hey, you know what? I might as well YouTube it. Plus, you'd be surprised. A lot of times when I do my recipes or when I do something cooked, if I only take the pictures, I either leave out a step or something. So I said, man, I might as well record it and share it. Then plus a lot of my cousins have asked me for my recipes, you know, and I even did one for our family reunion and did the collard green. They couldn't believe it. So I've been sharing that recipe, and I'm telling you, I love my gadgets, Instapot, and a sous vide machine. So today I'm gonna show you how to do your 2021 classic collard greens, black eyed peas, and pork using Instapot and sous vide. I'm telling you, it's good. I got everything laid out. Got one last chance to wear my ugly sweater. Trust me, my coworkers, one time I wore it so long that they took up a collection for me to take it off. So I got one day to wear it since we all been at home. But anyway, just funny. Like I said, we're gonna get started. I'm gonna show you the collard greens, how to do it in the Instapot, and the sous vide pork chops. This is gonna be done in an hour to hour and a half, 2 maybe tops, because the greens will take only an hour. The pork chops could take 2. We're gonna sear them off later, but we'll come back. But we're gonna get started with that. And I'm telling you, if you got one of these for Christmas gifts years ago and you have it, because a lot of people tell me they got it, they put it away, they don't use it, man, get it out. Sous vide, my little brother just got it this Christmas as a Christmas gift. He loves it, man. That does take a little time, but if you got a little time, but the nice thing about it, once you set it and forget it, cool. And then don't tell my buddy Rock that I stole, can you believe a guy from Chicago gave me some good collard green recipe season? Yep. And then also my buddy Gerald, who loves my pork chops. I put goat chain paste on them. We're going to sous vide them, rosemary, salt, and pepper. So anyway, we're going to get started. That's it. All right, guys, we're back. We're just getting started. Now, I'll have to do another episode where we go in a little bit more detail for the Instapots. But just remember, they got a little saute level on here, so we're going to saute our onions. I've fallen in love with onions. I think I've fallen in love with the onions because, man, this thing disintegrates them so much. So I'm going to put a whole onion in my bag of collard greens and a whole onion in my black eyed peas. You hear that sizzle? So this thing gets up, you can brown your meats, all kind of stuff, man. If you have to, and trust me, you can always look at other people, but out there on the YouTube. But once again, man, you know, we all have our own little different variations of what to do. So each one is different. But the key is, I put an onion, bottom of onion, I'm gonna saute that in there. Then I love garlic. On garlic, there's no measurement. You either like it or you don't like it, but usually it's one good heaping. You can use more or less. And we're just gonna let that saute for a second. You hear it. Now the key with the collard greens is what we're gonna do is we're gonna stuff them in there, and we're gonna wilt them down before we put the top on and go for an hour. That's the key with it. You wilt them down. It's possible that you don't have to wilt them down, but hey, you know, once you start doing something, you become a creature of habit. Also, if you know me, I love stuff hot, so I'm gonna put this in my black eyed peas, some can of, maybe not a whole can, but a few of these, chipotle peppers, green chilies, and some diced tomatoes. I love that in there. Then for my seasoning, I've got garlic powder, sugar, that hot green seasoning I told you my partner Rock, College Buddy sent, black pepper, and chicken bouillon. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I've fallen in love with, I put it up, but I've fallen in love with those pastes. Rather than waste a whole carton of stock, I like using the concentrate and, you know, dilute it like that. So it works out really good. And so, then, man, if you are not using smoked turkey necks for your seasoning your meat, don't get me wrong, ham hocks are still good. You ain't gonna beat your grandmother for that, but And I'm not saying that it's that much lighter. I'm not getting there, but you know, hey, if you can save off a little, you know, it doesn't hurt and not miss the flavor. So not too bad, not too bad. That's what I'll say for that. All right, so let's come back and we're gonna start wilting the greens in there. That's all it takes. All right, guys, we're back. The onions are definitely sauteing. They're good enough. Now, listen, do not talk about me for using bad collard greens. And also, if the video is not focused, that's my fault. I'll get better at this as time goes on. So we'll work on those kind of things to see the autofocus. It's possible that I'm just too close. But anyway, because I'm just trying to show you guys how to do it. So don't focus on the focus. But anyway, listen. I know your grandmother rolled these up and cut the stems out and care with love. But I promise you, the Instapot gets them so tender that the stems, you don't even notice them. The first time I did it, like you know how you go to a soul food restaurant, you'll pick out, you'll go, man, this soul food restaurant ain't good because the stems aren't good. They should all use Instapots. The stems, I accidentally did it the first day, wanted to see if it was a difference. When I tell you the stems are so tender, you won't even notice it. And they say the stems have more flavor, so hey, that's a bonus. I mean, more flavor, more nutrients, so that's a bonus. So here we go. You just start stuffing them in. I know it may not look like this bag is gonna go in there, but it will. And then they're gonna cook down, so I'm pushing them down. And then I'm gonna, as they saute, I'm gonna bring some up from the bottom to the top. I got that lyric from all the songs I listen to while spinning. Never thought bottom to the top would mean anything. All right. Notice, see? They pack them in there. So you just stuff them in there. All right. Same thing with the peas. Cut them up and put them in there. Don't talk about me for these peas, man. I went to the store too late, and I let the people get there for me. So these are some frozen ones. I'm sure they'll turn out the same. I don't doubt it. The peas are even easier because there's no sauteing. So they're all in there. We'll come back. I'll show you in a second. Remember I told you? I'm going to put those green chilies in there. Pour off some of that water. Pour off some of that water because we can add some more water. I think I'll add the water from the tomatoes though. Diced tomatoes in there. For picture purpose, I should put the chilies on top. Then we're gonna put our chipotles on there. Told you I like it hot. I don't know how, that's another story for another day. Technically, my little brother and my big brother tricked me one day. Don't be afraid to get some of that adobo sauce in there. Is that it? The word? You know, yeah, adobo. I use Adobe software, so I always sometimes mess up. All that is in my own mind. I'm gonna pick the camera up right quick and show you that. And then there go the greens cooking. And let's add the seasoning for the black-eyed peas. Let's come back to focus here. Got all the seasonings in there. Gonna add some more water in there. The trick with the Instapots is to remember they need steam. So you gotta have enough water in there to create that steam which creates the pressure. And I found out the hard way. And we have to do another episode to show you the difference between the Instapot brand and this one. I like this brand better. It's a non-stick. I know people say you can get more flavor from the other pot. That may be true, but I promise you, the real Instapot model is a lot more finicky if you don't have enough liquid in there. I have gotten better at it, but this is easier to clean. If I am missing a little bit of the flavor, that's only for meats, so I don't think I'm missing that much for vegetables and other things. I'll put a little bit of water now. Of course, be careful, you don't want to add too much. Some of this stuff is going to produce its own liquid. All right, we're going to come back. We're going to do the greens. I'll show you in just a second. All right, guys, we're back. The greens have wilted. Check them out. Let me focus it there. Like I said, I'll get better at this. Look at the peas. They're over there, stirred up. All the seasonings. We're gonna put the top on in just a second. Let's bag that. I'll show you the last of the stuff to do for the greens. Show you the last stuff to do for the greens. Alright, we'll learn on the camera. It picks a focus point and it just, that's all you can do. Alright, no problem. Alright, let me stop playing around. Alright, so the idea now is let's finish up the greens, which is nothing more than we're going to add the seasonings in there. So we're going to dump the seasonings in there. We're going to stir that up. We're going to add the chicken broth. I told you I made this with the rehydrated paste. I like that. It allows me not to waste so much. Cause I hate buying a whole carton and then not using it. I told you I like it hot. Only reason I had some leftover packs is it lets me measure it, so I don't go too far. There go the red pepper flake. Remember I told you, smoked turkey necks. Nestle them in there. Stir it up. We're gonna put that top on. Actually, this small amount, I can get away with 30 minutes. Because usually I have it stacked all the way up. I just, just doing a small batch. Hey, look, remember, one thing about this YouTube channel, there is no wasted food. We're not throwing away anything. This will be used, eaten tonight and tomorrow. So, and you know how greens are, they last, and you can even freeze them. And the little cartons your grandmother had. So don't think there's any wasted food here. All right, we're gonna put the same thing in the black-eyed peas over here. Boom. Stir that up. All right, ooh, almost forgot. My sister-in-law gave this to me. She said, I can't believe my mom held out on me. 2 little caps full of vinegar. Reminds share that with me, but she gave it to my little sister-in-law. I think she did that because my little brother is the baby of the family, and she wanted his wife to cook better for him. Just joking, just joking. Don't tell him I said that. All right, so here's the key. Let me show you one last time before we close it up. There it is. Ooh. Focus there. All right, so now we're gonna close them up, and I'll show you. I'll back out enough so you can see me. And it's really simple. It's nothing hard. We'll lower it a little bit. And you have to deal with my bad camera work, but that's okay. It's all fun in the learning process. That might be a better angle next time anyway. Having it low, then I can always tilt up. All right, cool. See, getting better. All right, so let's set it. This is all you do for your Instapots. Put the top on, get any little food particles out right there that fell through. You think about it, you say, hey, did I put everything in there? And you hope. So we're gonna put the top on. We're gonna put it in the seal position. We're gonna hit stop. I always just use meat. I'm just going 35 minutes today, guys, because I'm gonna let it sit in here. I think that's a small enough amount to do 30 minutes. So it does all the work. It'll let me know when it's. I'll try to record when it starts sealing. Same thing on the peas. We're just gonna stir it up one last time. Now normally I do 60 minutes on my collard greens, but that's when I have it stacked to the top. And normally I do the same thing on my peas, but these were frozen peas. It didn't state whether they were already pre-cooked or anything, but they definitely weren't the hard shell to where you have to pre-soak. So I'm just taking a chance because I can always do 30 more minutes of pressure when I take them out to taste. So I'm not worried about the greens. I know that half amount will go with 35 minutes. The peas, I know that if I take them out in 35 minutes, if they still got a little crunch, I can do another few minutes. And if not, they'll be perfect. Or I might do 5 more minutes to get that, that thing that's pea gravy. So you just put the top on, turn them to the seal position. They'll tell you they got looks like a little no smoking, no steam sign. Get it off, meat, hit start. They are on their way. All right, let's do the sous vide pork chops, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, while getting ready for the pork chops, excitement. The crock pot, the Instapot, our pressure cookers, is doing this steaming thing. See? Hear it? Then it's going to seal itself off. Man, do you know how funny that is? Remember your grandmother? If you had a grandmother like mine, you were not supposed to even enter the room if that thing was doing that. All right, I'm gonna leave my little music off. All right, while you can hear that, now I'll show you the clock. The clock will kick on. So for the sous vide, man, look, too much for me to explain. I'd have to you'd have to Wikipedia. I've been saying the wrong thing for you to understand the process. We see it. You'll hear it cut off in a second. All right, but for the sous vide, what you do is it's a process of cooking using water to transfer the heat to the food through vacuum. So notice, you put it in these Ziploc bags, and you fold that top down, because if you don't fold that top down, you could get a little, listen for it, you could get a little on the seal, and so it won't seal. So what you do is you just get as much of the air out as possible. It's easy, just, and the heat, man, is real cool. If you did my dad was my science teacher one year, so if you did some few experiments, you get that vacuum. If you just put a little in there, now you can always buy a good vacuum sealer See it? It's off to the running. Then the clock should kick on while we're doing the sous vide. But anyway, you put it in here, you will see it tighten up. I'll show you in a second. But you get as much air as out, you leave a little hole there, and you just fold them. And you know, just like TV, you know, classic. I already got the other 3 ready. We're gonna dip them in there. Move that out of the way. We're gonna lower them in there. Let me show you the sous vide container inside. Little rack. My friend Rock calls it meat jacuzzi. I can't even say it. Jacuzzi, but that's all right. He can call it what he wants. It's a process that works. Oh, now that one hadn't cut on, but look at that timer. 34 minutes. Those greens will be ready. All right. And the pork chops, like I said, I'm going to do them for an hour and a half. All right. Notice the temp. This thing sets the temp. Like I said, talk about me on my bed. We'll get better at the video, but you set it for 140. This device or apparatus or whatever you want to call it will hold it at that temp. I'm telling you, if you ever do a steak like this, you will be hard pressed to go back to doing steaks the other way. But now I have found out there is one other cool way that steaks work, and that's if you do the reverse sear. We'll do that. Look it up. I mean, I'm just a guy who likes to try. I'm just a person who likes to try the same experiments that we all like to try. So it's not like I invented these recipes are all modified, like Bobby Flay says. You know, I found recipes, modded them, like the black eyed pea. Well, actually, the black eyed pea recipe is interesting. I didn't have one. I said, well, why don't I just use my buddy Daryl likes this, my college friend. I said, why don't I just use the same seasonings that I use for the greens for the black eyed peas? I said, why not? Turned out pretty good. I've got others to actually agree. So that's how that ended up. The chipotle peppers, I'm sure somebody has done it. I like it hot, so I did it. Onions, I'm telling you why I like so many onions. Man, this thing disintegrates onions like nothing else. So it's like all that onion, it just makes it more flavorful. Obviously gives it some water. So that's how that came about, adding more onions. But you know, you control it. You can always add onion powder if you want to do something different. All right, so here we go. You dip it in. The little rack, you'll see you leave just a little enough for the seal out. And you'll see it push the air out. And the trick is you just want the meat submerged in there. I might turn the rack the other way once I get it in there. And see how it tightens up around the meat? I'll show you. I'm going to pull it out just to show you. We're going to put them all in. Once again, you just leave enough of a space for you to get it in there. Just fold that down on the I'm going to put a little bit more water in there so it'll go up covered. All right, that's it. I'll show you the temp drops. Oh, yeah. So look at both of the Instapots. Both their timers are on. We'll come back and check that later. When it's time to pull everything, I'll show you how it looks. The temp on the sous vide will drop, but it will work itself back up to 140. Let's see if I can get it focused. It will work itself way back up to 140, and that's when you'll. And one nice thing about it, you have to Google and look up some of the things. But most of the meats, what you do is it'll tell you thickness and time. And you just got, if you get one, you just have to play around with it. Always start with what they suggest, and you'll learn how to get better. But the key is what I've noticed is the time. You definitely got to go to time to get the meat to the temp, and then the length. Well, Let me start it over. You definitely have to have the temp, and you have to go at least an hour or maybe 2 on certain meats to get it up to temp. But the longer you do it, that's where the tenderness comes in. And then you just have to read which ones can go longer than, because you can't get it so tender that it falls apart. But once again, that's still not a problem, but it's just that it'll be overdone just like you cooked it anywhere else. But that's it, guys. We're going to come back when all this is finished and show you the results. All right, guys. It has been, like I said, technically I could have opened it up, but it's been an hour 53. I'm just showing you that once it cooks for 30 minutes, you have plenty of time to sit back. A completely natural release. And here we go. Let's look at them. And let's look at the peas. I will say this about these crock pots, the Instant Pots. I love the way they keep a little bit better heat. It's probably just mental, so don't laugh. But there they go, the greens, the smoked turkey neck green. All right, we're gonna come back in just a second and we're gonna look at the pork chops. All right, guys, so here's the sous vide pork chops. They've been just sitting in this water there. Remember my friend Rock? So here they are. You take them out of the bag. They have cooked inside of there. I'm going to take them out for a second so you can see them. And then we are going to finish them up. The only thing about the sous vide, you don't have to per se finish it up on the grill, but it's more of a color thing. So you want to just add that little color, but when you take them out, see it? We'll put it down. I'm gonna flip it around. I'll show you on the stove. I'm getting the stove ready. We're gonna sear it. Wipe them off with a little paper towel just to dry them off. All right, guys, we're back. Got the grill up. Once again, I love using all my little gadgets. It's smoking, so typically that's when you know you're ready to sear. But you can see almost 445. It'll probably reach about 500. Notice I'm using avocado oil. Love using that oil. All right, let's seal them right quick. It doesn't take long. Here we go. We're talking 1 to 2, 3 minutes aside. All right, so all we're gonna do is about a minute. And by the way, my alum from Jackson State, Kevin Lewis, he also uses the sous vide technique. So Rock, forget you. But once again, it's just all fun. Try something different. All right, time for our Christmas drink. If you don't have one, all right. All I'm gonna do is turn it. Can't find my Tom's Classic. Never can find the things, but I'm just gonna do the old 45-degree turn. All right, that's long enough. We're gonna flip them. I could be bold and get a little bit deeper mark, but that's alright, I'm gonna do another little 45. All it is, and it doesn't matter about that turn, just enough so you get the crisscross. If I had the time, I would truly make sure I, maybe marked them and kept up with it, but good enough. Good enough. I'm gonna tell you one thing: if you don't know this about sous vide, trust me, the meat is tender beyond belief. Press down. I need my press. I have my press That would ensure I got some really good grill marks. But I just threw this together. Listen, these videos will be horrible. It's not the intent of them. as much as it is just to show you that it doesn't take much. Alright, we're going to take them off. I'm going to cut this off. Let's cut this in right quick. Quick cut. See it? Tender and juicy. All right. All right, guys. It's been fun doing this. I look forward to doing a lot more during 2021. We'll get outside. We'll do some things that I have fun doing, tailgate. And there's a lot more things we can do in the Instapot. Oh man, you got the Mississippi pot roast. The main thing about the Instapot is it doesn't change the flavor or the taste of the food. It just accelerates the cooking process. So if you ever want a pot roast in the morning and you're ready, you can have it. So until next time, guys, we'll keep it going. See you next time.